Oh man, Al, we back?
Yes, sir, we back.
It's E. Jones.
Black Elvis.
We here at Bottom to the Top Hoops. Hey, what's going on? This is your boy E. Jones. Bottom to the Top Hoops, back with another installment. Here with the legend, Harlem's finest, my brother, Jerry Ice McCullough. Pleasure to have you on the show, man. Thank you for being here.
I'm with the man right now, man. I feel the glow right now, so I'm nervous.
No, it's a glow up. It's all good, man. So
this is you.
So at the end of the day, man, it's a long storied history about your career and the things that you've done, how you've impacted from a player, an administrator, a coach, and plenty of other things you did around the game. So it's no other way to start but at the beginning, right? Ooh. So look, from Harlem originally.
Always.
What part of Harlem? Let the people know exactly what you represent.
Last stop of the 3 train.
Okay.
Right there. You can't go no further. Ended, get out, Esplanade. I'm right there.
Esplanade Gardens, right? Harlem, New York. Okay, so where did your basketball career start, and how did you develop a love for the game?
Alright, so my love for the game, I would say, started with my man Charlie Rock in Esplanade. First, I was doing a whole lot of street football, tennis, just running around. Mm-hmm. He saw the speed, and he invited me and my brother to the park. I was in Building 5, Charlie Rock the controller, Esplanade. Yeah, it took us, and we just was wilding out, just running around.
So first, we got to give a shout out to my man Dennis, Denny Ice McCullough. Big shout out to Dennis. So you and your brother, y'all in Esplanade, y'all start hooping outside. You with Charlie Rock. Now, at some point, you start to feel like you're talented. What was the point where you felt like, you know what, I could do this?
When I started getting invited to play. Like
okay.
I said, people starting to come and say, let's go play ball. One time I knew I had a little something. I was working for my uncle.
Hold up. You gotta tell the people who your uncle is, you know, just for the viewers.
Yeah, I got an uncle named Bob McCullough. That's my favorite uncle right there. He started the Rucker Park, and he took over for Hope and Rucker. Got the city to rename the park because it never was called Rucker Park. So he went, hounded the mayor, wrote 1,000 letters, got the name changed, built up each one teach one in Rucker Park, him and Freddie Crawford.
We got to pay homage now. We back on track now. We got to pay homage, right?
Right.
So your uncle, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uncle, so I'm working. I'm the ball boy. They used to think me and my brother was twins. So he's doing with the Rucker. So mm-hmm. They got, I don't know if it was Darryl Mack, Ronnie Mathias, all of them playing, mm-hmm. And we rebounded, and then they cleared the court, mm-hmm. And me and my brother just out there just hooping, and all of a sudden we supposed to be, cleaning up the court watching, and it's just a bunch of oohs and ahs going on, and then Denny Mo just shaking it up, and from then
so y'all playing one-on-one, you and your brother?
Big crowd, stay packed. We had the indoor and outdoor, and it just kept being a thing, and then that's why I knew, I was like, you know what? Might be.
So when did you start playing organized? Because I know the story, but tell them where you went to elementary, middle school.
All right, so organized, I want to say started with She-Bice, Leroy Otis, and my man Tommy Sweet.
Okay.
So they took us small fry from the park. They got us, I think we was Bronx River at the time.
Okay.
I had Lance Geese, Hassan Brown, my 45th Street crew.
Yeah.
And they brought us over.
Yeah.
from the.
We welcomed you to the Bronx.
45th Street Park, went to the Bronx, mm-hmm. And then that was my first taste of organizing.
So were y'all TS Bucks at the time, or what were y'all playing under?
You know what? I can't. Whoever cut the check, I think we was the Bucks. I think we was Milbank. Okay. Like Leroy Otis, he had the call.
Leroy Otis always had a move.
Whoever had the call, the unis.
Right.
That's who it was. But Tommy Sweet was coaching, and She-Bice was his assistant.
Big shout out to my coaches, right? She-Bice, Tom Sweet, and Leroy Otis. All of those dudes, great pioneers for the game in New York City. Mm-hmm. So middle school, you went to St. Charles.
St. Charlie Rock, yep.
So now there's a history with St. Charles and the basketball that came out there, some of the players. Talk a little bit about that.
So being that it was a small school, Catholic school, mm-hmm. we was heavily funded by Father Harrison. So he took all his little father checks, his little priest checks, built the team. You know what I mean? Used a lot of the church funds.
It's called support.
Okay, that's what we call it. That's what we call it. But we had gear, food, everything, and everybody from Harlem wanted to play with Father. Shot Rel Mag. A lot of people didn't necessarily go to St. Charles.
So there was like CYO. So then you had 3 non-parishioners that could play as well as the kids in the school.
Exactly.
So you got to work the system.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with the rule, but we
y'all figured it out.
took advantage of it. We took advantage of it. So
Right.
Red Autry, Chanel Scott, Charlie Rel Mag,
All of y'all was playing with St.
Hot
Charles.
Dog, everybody. If you could ball, all the Arnolds,
Sean,
Tim White,
John.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you could ball, you was from Harlem, you found a way
So
to get
y'all
down.
was getting to it in there.
Yeah.
So
It was
I'm
some battles.
assuming those battles, along with playing with Leroy and Tommy, that kind of was sharpening your skills and letting you become the player you were gonna be, because now you start to develop confidence. You're playing against good players. You're one of the younger guys amongst the people that you named.
And that's the other thing. It was being young and being a defensive dude. So I had foot speed, a little wild, but always wanted to steal the ball. So
Now
that
wait.
was something we can use.
Now we try to teach on the show, right?
Okay.
We talk about, the lost arts of the game. We talk about how people train now. I don't think people do a good job, or not necessarily on a wide scale, of really focusing and emphasizing on the defensive side of the ball as it relates to individual training. Do you think that's something that could be worked on and something that people are missing? That's why some of the players may be incomplete at this.
1,000%. Like I wasn't born knowing how. Like Tommy Sweet taught me how to do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He had my brother run him to the side, me cut him off. Like that was you could not bring up the ball against us. You was a fool to even try, coming up in Harlem. You was just getting blown out because he brought me from no matter what age group. I mean, I couldn't make a layup, but I could take the ball from anybody that was dribbling the ball up. So we run him up, cut him off, steal the ball, go down, smoke the layup.
Right. Now,
that was just how we did it.
so look, fast forward. Let's get to the point where you start playing with the Gauchos. At what age did you start playing with the Gauchos, and who brought you over?
Tommy Sweet.
Because he coached and brought his team over.
Right. He had he had a crew. He built us up. He's the best I've ever seen at doing it. Starting them from whether it's 3rd grade or from the developmental, getting them tough. He recruited straight toughness, straight guys that wanted to play together, didn't want to lose, couldn't stand losing. We walked from every park to park all day, all summer, all winter, trying to play ball against whoever. And he was working for Coca-Cola at the time, 7-Up actually, off the truck, and no one can beat us. And from what I heard, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Right, like we can't beat you, so we the big dog. We want to bring you and your team, and we're gonna let you do your thing over here.
Yep. So
big shout out to Lou for recognizing that talent as a coach and bringing that team over, because that team that you had, well, those players that he had included
anybody that wasn't us. They got beat. No doubt. Anybody that wasn't us, they got beat. No offense to anybody, but I know the history.
So I'm gonna insert myself into the story now, right? I come along at 12 years old.
Yep.
I go into the Gaucho mystique.
Exactly. I'm glad you gave the age group from I want to say 13 and under. T.S. Bucks from Millbank and all just ran.
So I played from the time I was 12 to the time I was 18. So literally from middle school, was at 6th grade, to the time I graduated. So, there's a lot of Riverside guys that come on the show with respect to Ernie Arch and what they do with the blue and gold. So just for the record, how many times do you feel like you lost to Riverside in your career?
I could say we were undefeated 12U on Gauchos. When we moved over to the Gauchos, maybe when I played up, and we had the different.
We're gonna call it 4 times for the career.
I would say no more than my head.
That's for all the Riverside guys. Just put that out there. So look.
Let me know if y'all did it more than me. Let me know.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah, there you go. So with that being said, now the one thing that I realized is this was a machine, and I had to fit into the machine. And there was a standard, like you said with Tommy Sweet. You're gonna play D. You're gonna play hard. We're gonna attack first. We're gonna hit first. We're gonna be in the best shape, and we're just gonna wear you down. And I had to get myself in shape and build up my mental. I was a decent player, but I didn't understand the intensity that I had to play with. I didn't understand how hard he was gonna be on me and what the expectation was of how good they saw me to be, and I don't even know if I knew.
Nah, you started off as a big man. Remember, you was a big man.
That's a fact.
Like that, and you, they didn't call it body pumping at that time, but you had to throw your body around.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Put the shoulder on them, and then you had to get you out of the be a nice E and start spreading the wings.
That's right, and that's the thing about it, man. I think they developed killers. That's what they call it now, right? They say killers kill, and I think all of us were killers.
Yeah.
In our own right. Like if you was a rebounding killer or a ball handling killer, but the one thing we knew is we was going to be in a 50 press, we was going to be in the diamond, we was going to turn you over, and the game was probably going to be over by the 3rd quarter, if not sooner.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you've had some great moments as a high school player, as an AAU player. What are some of the things that stand out to you for the times that you played with the Gauchos?
I want to say Dave McCullough. Just him like recognizing a certain skill or
you had the
humbleness or whatever it was.
You had it.
I ain't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna say.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it because at the end of the day, this is what a coach does. If you see a kid who's different, right? So we're the same age, but I didn't go on the 16U trips because I wasn't the kid to be doing. I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
They put you in that situation because he said, "I got to develop this guy because he's got a real shot." So I said it. You didn't say it, but go ahead.
No, but I think, like you said,
that's your humility. Go ahead.
Listen, we had, I want to say, if we had 12 people on the team, we had 11 and a half Division I basketball players.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So we were all like Division I high major basketball players. And I just think I played the point guard spot a little bit different that he was able to utilize.
What do you think made it different? How did you play the point guard? For the point guards out there, how did Jerry McCullough play the point guard spot?
I think it was a little bit more of with the defense.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Being able to pick up football, the ball handling, and I think I had a little bit of creativity with the passing, being able to get past people.
Okay, so it was and leadership.
Yeah.
And something you spoke to earlier is you were built to be somebody who didn't want to lose. So whatever it took, you were going to try to make a play, and you were not scared of the moment. So I can recall back to games when now I'm of a different mentality because of my basketball experience, but I wasn't really looking to get the ball in the last second. I knew who the ball was going to. And you probably felt like, yo, whatever y'all do, just give me the ball.
Give me the rock at the last minute.
Right, let me get it. So everybody's not wired that way. Everybody doesn't want the last shot. I played with a guy in college that said, I'm just not ready for that. He was a senior. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. These things do exist. So that's a whole nother story. Let's talk a little bit about the legend that becomes Jerry McCullough. I mean, you don't want to own it, but I'm here to talk about it. This is my job on the show to basically share with the people the things that we're not talking about fiction. This is fact. We won't go into the specific stories about specific things that happened as the people saw, but what I am going to say is this. We both came in as freshmen. You went to Rice, I went to St. Regis, right? Story, history, big rivalry. You move up to varsity your sophomore year. Now, playing varsity his sophomore year, Doc Turner, right? Playing with Ron Arnold, playing with against Kenny Anderson, all those type of guys. Do you still have the same mentality as like, I'm an attacker, like I'm just as good as everybody on the court? Like, what's your mindset now stepping up that level? Because I'm still playing JV, watching these games.
Everything was, I want to say, built from Tommy, Dave McCullough, Dave Jones, Tommy. Just everything I did, whether it was stealing the ball, passing the ball, was the winning. You know what I'm saying? Everything was just the winning mind. So
it didn't even matter who was on the court.
It didn't matter. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter the game. Like I said, most of the time the game was over.
Because you're at Rice and now you're playing against better players, and it's not blowouts every game.
No.
But what I'm saying to you is, there's a specific mindset that you had, whether it was 2000 in the gym at Fordham University, or y'all was playing at Gaucho gym or whatever. It was still, it doesn't matter. I laced them up. I'm here to win.
You in front of me, I'm trying to win. Just
okay.
Simple as that.
That's what it is. You a winner. That's what you do.
Yeah, whatever it takes. I'm winning. I'm baseline to baseline.
And that's, I mean, because I know you, that's a skill that you have in life too. Because those basketball skills are translatable skills when you're in business, when you're in the classroom, when you have your interpersonal relationships. You want to be successful. And sometimes when you quit on things or you don't finish things, that can be attributed to some things in your early childhood where you might have just said, oh, it's too rough.
Yeah, you couldn't, my pops wouldn't let me do it, uncles, you know what I mean, Dave, Tommy, you know what I'm saying, like the block, you know what I mean, couldn't come back.
And you started to represent an area. So you became one of those guys, like you Harlem son now. You 16 years old, did you feel that pressure? Like, yo, we come to Doc Turner to see Ice.
Yeah, whoever was that, like, whether it was the nicest dude from Queens, the nicest dude from the Bronx, whatever borough, or even Jersey, wherever they was at, if someone mentioned somebody else, you had to represent all of those people from your area that backed you, that said you was gonna get the best of it. You was gonna win that
and when those matchups came, I'm assuming there was a mindset that you went into.
Yeah, because you couldn't come back home because you always had a few that might have went against whoever was pumping you on the block, and you just couldn't lose that because that was an everyday. It was an everyday, but it was back to wanting to win that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That translated from high school because you played against the different boroughs, and even when you got to college, whoever they thought was nice in the East. They was gonna say, oh, he's gonna get you. He's gonna kill you.
So historic battles, you go through high school, CHSAA. We won the Las Vegas Invitational in Vegas. We won Syracuse. You know what happened in Syracuse. Man. So anyway,
the keys. That was another story.
So anyway, fast forward. We get to the point where now we're seniors, 1991. One of the best classes, in my opinion, in New York City basketball history.
Underrated class, but yeah.
So, you got a college decision to make. Who's in the picture? Who's strongly recruiting you? What do you really consider?
My whole thing was, I thought I was at least 2 grades better than what I was. So, because remember, I kept playing up. So I had to go against the Red Ortrees, you know what I mean? I played with the David Canes. I played right behind the Jamal Walkers. Andre McCullough. So that whole, story crew, Mashburn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of them, so Conrad McCray, E. Mobley, Dave Kane, Dre McCullough. I might be forgetting a few, but that's all the best of the best. Chanel Scott, like these are all pros. And so my whole thing was where was gonna get me, to the pro level the quickest that I could come in immediately.
Wait, when you was a high school senior, were you thinking about like pros realistically? I wasn't.
Realistically, no, I was because of all the summer battles we had when I got to see, Raw come back, working out at Gaucho gym, playing against Jamal Walker, Ross Strickland. I got to see, Mark Jackson, who taught us all that we weren't better than them. But every point guard from me, Shell, Dre Barrett, my brother, Red, everybody thought, you know, Mark, we could get him. You know what I mean? And it didn't happen.
Right.
Like it didn't happen.
That basketball IQ and
I swear I stole the ball from everybody, but somehow, some way with that dude there, it wasn't happening. He walked the ball up on me, and it was just I wasted so much energy. Just he was different.
So respect to Mark Jackson and his ball handling ability.
And he wouldn't even know who I was. Remember me, but because I was like, you know, some little dude just trying from high school.
I think
just
Mark
trying to get it from
you. But anyway, so now you saying to yourself, how do I make this college decision? Where do I want to go that I can actually come in and make an impact? Who were the last three in the picture?
I want to say it was Miami.
Okay.
I wanted to play with Leonard Hamilton. Defensive guy. Pittsburgh. And it was between, I want to say, Xavier was in it early.
Okay. Well, they have a New York guy that has success, Jamal Walker.
I was going to play with Jamal Walker and Ronnie Arnold, because Ron Arnold, my high school teammate.
God bless the dead. Jerome Holmes was there too.
Jerome Holmes.
Yeah.
So and then they just went on that run too.
Tyrone
Hill and all the rest of those.
Grant.
Yeah. So they fell out, so that brought it 3-2, and then it was between Seton Hall and Rutgers.
So why Pitt?
Why Pitt? I want to say when Eric Mobley was there, Orlando Antigua, those was my two Gauchos, and then I want to say the closeness to home, and then I was supposed to have played major minutes right away with Sean Miller in the backcourt. And they just been the the last 4 years to the tournament. You know what I mean? So they was always in the tournament. Biggest stage. Sean just won it his freshman year.
Big East was popping back then.
And we had the horses. I felt if I went to the tournament, you know, 2 out of those 3 years, by my second or third year, you know what I mean?
So you come in your first year, always there, Orlando was there, E-Mo was there, y'all playing. What is that transition like for you? Did you hit the ground running? Was it?
Then I learned about the politics of recruitment in college sports. You know what I mean? Dealing with the media, you know, dealing with seniors that's ahead of you. You know what I mean? That learning curve there.
There's kids that are watching the show who are being recruited. There's kids who want to be recruited. There's kids who don't understand what they're getting themselves into. They feel like they're automatically supposed to be given something because a coach has told you, we really want you. We're going to give you $240,000 to come to school for free and play basketball. They feel like that's a rite of passage. Where really what they're saying to you is, come to our school and start at zero.
Yeah, it's the same pitch, which I didn't realize that they gave. So you come in as a freshman, the freshmen before you, so the sophomores.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you come here, you know what I mean? You do everything right, you're gonna get your opportunity the next year.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have a chance this year, maybe. You know what I mean? So you're falling somewhere along that lines behind something that was promised to the guy in front of you.
So now it's just roll the balls out, and if you're not 3 times better than the guy in front of you, and they trust him and he's been there, odds are you're either gonna have to split or wait your turn.
Because it's a job in that system that needs to be done, and if they can do a decent job at it, they're gonna get a shot. Especially if the guy that they're recruiting is from that hometown. For instance, if the 2 guard that was a sophomore is getting that they recruited from Chicago,
right?
You know what I mean? And they're trying to recruit
another
his big
Chicago
man
kid
that's coming in the following year after you.
Got to treat him right.
They got to do him right.
There's a bunch of tricks and different things with recruitment that people need to understand, especially with picking a school. So, fortunately, this story turns out good, right? You get the keys your sophomore year.
Get the keys my sophomore year. They had to do me right because they had to follow the Gauchos and everywhere else. You can't come back to New York City.
Right. But that was behind what I know was probably some of your, I would say, years of trying to figure yourself out too, right? Of trying to become responsible. And if you say you want to be a pro, now you gotta kind of start acting like it.
And it's a rush between a little bit of selfishness to prove yourself. You know what I mean? Because I went out Sean Miller every night. You know what I mean? Try, because he was the point guard there. I'm the other point guard. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be the starting point guard. You know what I mean? It slides you over.
That's your mentality though.
Yeah. Like, and you know, big shout out to Sean Miller. You know what I mean? Like, paddled every night. You know what I mean? And then we had that conversation. Like, listen, we got to do what's best for this team. This is the way. You know what I'm saying? We can keep doing this, but you know what I mean? It probably might not change Paul Evans' mind. You know what I mean?
So let's work together.
Let's get it done. Let's work together.
We out here talking hoops, man. Bottom to the top. We started at the bottom. We on our way to the top.
Let's go.
E. Jones.
Black Elvis.
Bottom to
Already
the
know
top.
how we do.
We out. Salute.